Today, I'm going to help you understand the difference between a lease option and a lease purchase. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding of the differences between lease options and lease purchases. You're going to understand how to leverage both strategies to be able to minimize risk and maximize profits. Did you realize that one of these strategies allows you to control a property without actually owning it, while the other one could potentially obligate you to actually buy the property? Well, stick around as I dive into this and explain the difference and exactly what a lease option is and a lease purchase. Next, I'm going to help you understand the main differences between the two. And finally, I'm going to tell you about a strategy that I've come up with that I'm utilizing right now called cash flow flipping that is crushing it in today's market and producing not only massive wealth, but cash flow every single month. If you're ready, let's go. So what is a lease option? Essentially, a lease option is a longer term lease where a buyer comes in and they want to buy a property at a certain date down the road, but they're renting it during the term of that lease. And that lease agreement has all the main stuff in it, the price, not only the price of the home, but the price of the lease every single month, and the date and time down the road when they're going to close on the property, and everything else that's normally associated with any type of lease agreement or rental agreement is included in that, like who's responsible for what. It's essentially a rent-to-own strategy. Now, the strategy is extremely beneficial for those individuals who maybe aren't quite ready to buy a home right now, either because of credit. Maybe they need some time to get credit worthy to build up their credit, and that 2-year period of time will allow them to do so. Or maybe you're a buyer who doesn't quite have the funds to be able to purchase a home, but doing this strategy will absolutely help you do that. Because within a lease option, there are some really cool things that benefit the buyer. Number one, you can pay an option price up front. That's required, and it's usually 2 to 7% of the option price. That gives you the option and the right to be able to buy this home at a certain date down the road at a certain agreed upon price, plus that option money that you pay up front can be utilized towards your down payment. Included also within a lease option is the ability to take a certain percentage of the monthly payment you're paying every single month to be included and counted towards your down payment, right? So let's say you're paying $2,000 a month, you negotiate $200 a month of that lease payment is going to be counted towards your down payment at the end of the 24 months. So after 24 months, 200 times 24, you now have $4,800 that you can utilize towards your down payment. So it's a great tool for a buyer to be able to accumulate the money for a down payment. So what is a lease purchase? A lease purchase actually obligates the buyer to buy that property at that certain date down the road. Because you're obligated, the option price up front is usually less than a lease option because there's that obligation there versus with a lease option, the buyer isn't obligated. The buyer could walk away with a lease option, but understand if they walk away, they lose the option price they paid up front. So what are the benefits of both of these different strategies? Let's dive into that. Let's explain it. Now, they can both be set up the same way because they have the same components. You have the lease agreement, which details out how much is paid every month. And if there's a percentage of that goes towards the buyer's down payment, there's the option price paid up front, 2 to 7% if you're in a lease option, maybe 1% or less if you're in a lease purchase. And then obviously the length of the lease agreement and the agreed upon purchase price of the home. Now, which one is better for you? Honestly, it comes down to everybody's individual situation and what their life situation is currently at the moment, right? If you're somebody who says, listen, I'm ready to buy this home, this is the home that I want, maybe a lease purchase is the best option for you. If you're somebody who says, listen, I really like this home, but if I could rent it for 2 years and test drive it, so to speak, that's a better option for me, right? So that's something to consider. Another option is, are you ready to buy the property right now? I mean, do you have enough of a down payment and a credit history that will allow you to purchase the home at that date down the road? Or are you somebody that needs to build up enough money for that down payment? Do you want the flexibility to be able to walk away from it if you don't like it? If that's the case, a lease option is a better option versus a lease purchase. And finally, are you comfortable being financially and legally obligated to buy that property down the road? If you aren't comfortable, a lease option is the way to go versus a lease purchase. Now, with these strategies, there's actually a strategy I've come up with utilizing lease options that is absolutely amazing. I'm doing it right now, and it is making a killing in the current market, and it's called cash flow flipping. And here's how it works. I'm essentially looking for homes in the Midwest below $100,000. Now, I'm looking for homes that are listed. I'm going to offer 25 to 30% below the asking price, but I'm going to buy it quickly, close quickly, and I'm paying cash. Now, because of that, I might only get 1 or 2 accepted out of 10 different offers, but once that's accepted, I'm buying that outright with cash, not my own cash. I'm utilizing a private money lender that I know, like, and trust, and that knows, likes, and trusts me, and they're charging anywhere between 8 to 12%. Let's just say that worst case scenario, they're charging me 12%. I'm paying them an interest-only payment. Now they're excited because let's say that there was a property listed at $70,000. They could easily appraise for that, but I've got it under contract for $50,000. They give me the cash, I buy the home. They are in first position on that home that is appraised at $70,000. They have baked in equity in this home. Now, once I have it under contract and I've closed on it, I'm going out there and I'm finding a buyer to buy it from me through a lease option, right? So because I'm doing a lease option, it is going to pull out other buyers that are sitting on the sideline, and it allows them to build up enough money for a down payment or to get their credit right, as I talked about. So I've got some potential buyers out there, and I find a buyer that's willing to buy it from me 2 years down the road at $70,000. Remember, I bought it at $50,000, so I immediately have baked in $20,000 that I'm going to receive if they execute on that. If they don't execute, I just do the same strategy again, probably at a higher price. Now I get it under contract for them under a lease agreement, a lease option, where it's a rent-to-own strategy, and let's say we closed on it 2 years down the road at $70,000. The buyer's excited because they know that it was just listed a month ago at $70,000, and they have the ability to buy it 2 years down the road for me at $70,000. They could immediately assume that it should appreciate a little bit, and when they close on it, they'll have a little bit of baked-in equity. It might not be much, but the fact that they can get it 2 years down the road of what it's listed at right now is pretty exciting. And let's say that we say that the rental payment to me every single month is $1,000, and I will count $100 of that towards their down payment. So I'm netting $900. I'm paying $500 because 12% of $50,000 is $6,000. Interest-only payment every single month is $500. I'm making that difference between $500 and $900 that a month is coming into me. So let's play this out. At the end of 2 years, I've made $400 a month times 24 months is $9,600. The buyer executes and pays me $70,000. I take the $70,000, I pay $50,000 to the private money lender, I pocket $20,000, and I've made almost $30,000 in 2 years. What if you can do that 30, 40, 50, 100 times over the course of a year or 2 years? This is an amazing strategy where you make cash flow every single month and you make cash flow when you flip the property. That's why it's called cash flow flipping. And if you want to learn how to do this step by step, it is in my book called Cash Flow Flipping. And I'll tell you what, I'm giving it away 100% free. Just click on the link below, cashflowflipping.com. No obligation, no questions asked. Thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.